Episode 4 of the CrownCast, the novice clothing company CrownCast. It's Chris, it's Nick throwing up the fours, and it's G as well. And our guest this week is Penn State forward Ture Linden of the men's ice hockey team. Ture, man, it's good to see you. It's been a minute for me. I know you've caught up with Nick and Garrett more recently, but back to your RPI days, man, it's good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, great to see you guys too. I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here, so pumped to be with Novice as well.
Last I saw you in person was the Novice Super Bowl party last year.
Right.
What did you do for the Super Bowl this year?
We had a little potluck with the guys at our hockey house, so everyone just brought something. Some guys made, like mac and cheese, buffalo chicken dip, a lot of different desserts.
That was the Ture Linden special.
I was a little lazy. I just went to Giant and got one of those shrimp cocktail plates.
I can't go wrong with shrimp.
Yeah, I had a lot of homework to do that day. Got some 7-layer bars as well, so I wasn't, I brought some good stuff, but I didn't make anything from scratch, unfortunately.
You were rooting for the Chiefs, obviously, right?
Yeah, we'll go with that for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In Pennsylvania now, I wondered if the allegiance was going to be with Philly, if that was a thing at Penn State. How caught up have you gotten in American football? Have you always been? I mean, Penn State obviously is a great place to go watch a football game.
Yeah, I'm not actually. I don't watch football at all, actually. But no, Penn State. I mean, it's a different level here. Like my first football game ever was going to the game here, and it was actually a little too much. Like I couldn't even make it through the game, just because like the student section is so rowdy and like there's so many people in like one spot and like you can't really move. It's like hard to get in. It's just like I don't know. It's pretty claustrophobic in our stadium. Like 100,000 people kind of freaks you out, but. I think some people love it, and the tailgating's a lot of fun. So I'll just stay outside.
I've been there with 110,000 people, and Beaver Stadium actually, you can feel it move as Zombie Nation plays, and the whole place goes absolutely crazy. All right, let me take you back to the transfer portal, which obviously gets talked about so much now. But as you were making that decision from RPI to Penn State, I know there were a lot of factors that went into it. COVID. Would there be a season? Wouldn't there be a season? Where's the next best place for you to kind of take your playing career to another level? Was Penn State an easy decision for you? What did that come down to for you to say, okay, I've done what I need to do in Troy. Let me go to Penn State?
Yeah, I think for me it was a variety of things, but Penn State was definitely a comfortable choice, being how close it was to home. Last year was tough because we weren't allowing fans in the building, so my parents couldn't come watch me play. And at Penn State, like it's 3.5 hours from home. It's the closest Division I school to my house. This is actually the closest I've played to home since I was 14. So it's pretty cool. Like I have my parents, like family, friends, neighbors, coming up for every home game. Like a lot of people said they'd come up, and actually, like I'm impressed because it's almost hard to get enough tickets to have people in the stands because our games are actually like pretty expensive. So I'm definitely always getting texts for tickets from people. But that's just been a lot of fun playing in front of people that have always said they've wanted to see me play, but now they actually have. And yeah, like you said, like I needed to make a jump to kind of get seen more. And Penn State gives me a stage to do that. I mean, we play, and I think this year it's definitely the best conference with 4 teams in the top 10 and almost every team in the top 20. I don't think we've played a team that's not ranked in months. It's just really good competition, and it's been a lot of fun.
Wow. And it doesn't hurt to be one of the top teams in the nation either, right? You guys are just rolling right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like, obviously, I wanted to have a chance to win with my last year, and I saw the team they had returning. Pretty much everyone was returning, adding a couple good pieces as well, freshmen and transfers, and it seemed like the perfect opportunity to step in and make an impact and hopefully make a run at it.
What was it? Just a quick question I had. What was it like coming in as a transfer, kind of getting, feeling out the environment of the team, and then, you are a veteran player at this stage, 5th-year senior. How was it like transitioning to a new school, new teammates, and then, coming together as a team. Because like the team culture, that's got to be a huge part of your guys' success.
Yeah, definitely. I guess that's kind of one thing I was worried about, kind of coming in as an older guy, transfer, what that would look like. Like, would I be part of the senior group or not? But it was easy from day one. Like, the nice thing was I came in the summer because here we can train here in the summer. So we have access to our facilities, our strength coach, ice, equipment, everything, which is really nice coming from Virginia where ice is really expensive. So I was able to train here all summer, and guys kind of trickled in as the summer went along. So I kind of met guys simultaneously, which was perfect for me, kind of build those individual connections. And then by the time like the whole team was here, I'd already met everyone pretty much. And yeah, I feel like honestly part of the senior class, which is really nice. Me and Ashton Calder. So they've been great at welcoming us in. And, we have all our rituals and everything that we do before games. And they've made me a part of some of those, which is pretty special, and I'm pretty grateful for it.
That's awesome. This the most okay? So you talked about kind of where you grew up and how it was with hockey. Is this the most you've spent on the ice from the time you set foot on Penn State's campus? Is it the most consistent, I guess, amount of time you've spent on the ice?
So you're asking like how much time I've actually spent on the ice practicing?
Yeah, or number of days in a row, right? Where you weren't forced to take a break because you didn't have access to something. Or I guess, do you feel like it's more consistent now for you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, this summer is definitely the most I've skated and the most I've trained. I was here with one of my old buddies too, who's a captain here, Alex Limoges, and some alumni as well. So we had professional players training with us as well.
Great.
So like I'm training with professional and Division I guys all summer versus in Virginia, it's like you get a couple Division I guys, you get a couple junior guys, a couple U18. It's just not the same level of competition, and you're also paying a hefty price. So it's like you almost don't want to skate as much as you do when you have the talented players you do here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How has you talked about the competition in terms of the teams you're playing in the top 25 and top 10 for that matter, but then that iron sharpening iron, as they say, when you're, daily working up against pros over the summer, how have you gotten better? For people back in Troy and RPI, remember 19 skating around a little bit. How have you gotten better?
Yeah. For me, it's been like this summer I worked on my skating a lot. And I actually changed a couple things with my skates. Our equipment manager here is really talented. He changed like my whole profiling and everything, like the way my skates lie on the ice. Like it gets pretty complex. I still don't understand it, but he does, and he made me faster.
So I could help Nick too.
Yeah, seriously. But so some of that, and then just kind of repetition, right? Like these guys are all skilled in different areas, so just trying to like pick their brains about certain things, and obviously just competing against them on a daily basis makes a huge difference.
What do you think, like, just with your team and you guys on a roll right now, playing really well, like what are some of the things that stand out as like part of the, almost the X factors that, what allows you guys to be successful? I'm sure there's some talent there, but a lot of times talent isn't everything.
Yeah. So for us, it's depth. Like, I think there's a lot of teams in college which, they have one top line or two really good lines that, they play a lot. And those guys kind of generate all their offense. For us, like we have four lines which score. And our coach is rolling lines. Like he's not afraid to put anyone out there against anybody. And we have different lines stepping up every night. And that includes like the back end as well, and goalies. Like we've had both our goalies play. We've had 3 pairs of defensemen get involved in the offense. Like everyone's really skilled and good at making plays. And then kind of just like developing that chemistry with your lines has been huge. I think we're just like a team that can wear you down because we play with 4 lines, and we play like, everyone plays so hard because, we're not just rolling 2 lines like most teams do.
Wow. Well, depth is big. That's, depth that can win championships for sure. So,
how do you get to Tampa, Ture?
It's a good question. I think honestly, in playoffs, from what I've seen, like you gotta you gotta get hot at the right times, right? You gotta have everyone going. Like I said, like we need all four of our lines to be going. We need our defensemen to be stand out and everything. Our goalie's been rock solid this year, so we need him to stay solid. So it's going to take everyone, and then it's going to kind of take that like winner's mentality. Like we're going to need certain guys to step up and make a big play when it's 2-2 late in the third. So that's going to come down to our leadership and experienced players.
That's the Frozen Four in Tampa, and we're sitting here on February 16th, a month and a half or so from now. Will be the Frozen Four. Nick, what do you got for our guy?
Yeah, so you guys are hot, no doubt about it. I think seven in the country right now. Is that right?
Yeah, so I think we're seventh in that ranking, and then pairwise, which is the one that determines the tournament, we're fifth.
Fifth. All right, so top 5 in the country. How's the vibe on campus? Are you guys the talk of the town? You got the local spot that on Friday night after the game. Let's take, how's
Nick's
the experience?
trying to relive his college
How's
days.
the fan experience? I mean, I loved college hockey on a Friday night in Orono, Maine. And I can only imagine Maine was never top 5. I mean, maybe with Paul Correa, but how's the vibe? I mean, Penn State's huge. We got solid basketball, huge football, but how's the hockey fan support?
Because it's a younger program
they really
too,
embraced
right?
you guys, or
Yeah,
you guys
it's
on your shoulder?
it's crazy. Like, I honestly, I probably think that they wish that they made the stadium bigger because we actually we sell out every single night. Like, we haven't had a game that's not sold out. And like ticket prices for like the big games it's insane. Like I was looking at resale, it was like over $1,000 for certain tickets for whiteout. And like it's bananas. Yeah. Like we played Michigan when they were number 1 in early November, I think it was. And we ended up beating them 3-0. And I've never heard a building so loud as it was in the third period. And we were just rolling and like feeling good. And like, it was the first time we've beaten a number 1 team in a while. And like the student section was there. They were so rowdy. And I remember like getting on the ice after like a penalty kill and I could not hear anything. Like the building was shaking literally.
Awesome.
It was the loudest I've ever heard a building, professional included, anything. And then we had whiteout a couple weeks ago too, which we ended up scoring a late goal in the third, and then the place just erupted. You can catch those videos on Instagram and stuff to kind of see what I mean by that. But yeah, there's a light show, there's everything. It's pretty special. Our student section is right behind the opponent's goalie, so he definitely has a tough time. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And they've got like a row of like signs for each of us, which is pretty cool. Yeah. We sing like our alma mater with them after the game. And we'll jump into the boards or like bang our sticks on the glass as we go around. So it's been pretty special, and kind of seeing the support. Like we get to meet our fans too. We actually did a sled hockey game on Saturday where we were raising money for like the local sled hockey team. When we were able to raise 20,000 for them, we kind of like created like a game where like our players played against theirs. And their team ended up pulling out the 6-5 win in overtime. I was their coach, so I got props there. But 1-0 so far coaching. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like we had like tons of fans come out and support that too, and it was on a Sunday morning. Like it's just awesome the support that we get.
That's impressive that guys who are used to being on 2 feet on skates kept it that close in sled hockey. That is not easy to do.
Yeah, I think they were taking it easy on us, but it was fun. It was like some guys were just falling all over the place. It was pretty funny to watch.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Tor, let me ask you about this relationship here with the guys below me, Nick and Garrett and the entire NOVUS team. Why was this the right fit for you? Obviously, the relationship started while you were at RPI, but as you were then going to a bigger program at Penn State, why was NOVUS, kind of the right NIL deal for you?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know how perfect of a fit it would be until kind of later on, but just kind of the values and like everything Novice stands for, like doing good things in the community and being good people and having great quality products. Like that's been also awesome to represent, and just like the kind of stuff you guys do outside of clothes too, like this, and kind of supporting athletes is pretty special. And I'm not sure I deserve it, but it's been pretty special and something I'll never forget for kind of later in life. And I know my family is very proud of it, and kind of the stuff that I've been able to do with the clothing line with you guys, and definitely made memories for life with it.
Let's see the tee you're rocking.
Yeah. So, the t-shirt. Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
Nice.
So, with the podcast, I got my hat on here too.
Yeah.
For my clothing.
Yeah, tell us about how the line was received on campus this year. You had an awesome photo shoot. You got some of the boys involved.
There was an article too that was written up.
Yeah, so that was one of our hockey writers that ended up getting that set up. But that was like a big article for me. Got some sales off that. It's just been pretty cool to kind of like, we had white out a couple weeks ago, like I said, and I saw a few people rocking the white T-shirt in the stands, and some hats and stuff. So that's just pretty special to see. But yeah, everyone was like, when they got the clothing, they're like, wow, like I didn't expect it to be this great quality and like this nice. And I was like, yeah, I know like Novice is just the best. So
what is it? I was just going to quickly say too, like, Ture, you've been just incredible to work with, and really just kind of reignite the fire for Nick and I, just how we felt being on campus with the student body, getting to sling product around and having fun with it. Like when we were seeing articles are being written about Ture and the line that he's dropping, we were like, this is just the coolest thing ever. Because, it's funny. I remember getting the call from Ture when he was, transferring, and he was like, yeah, I'm definitely thinking of Novice in the decision. And then he ended up calling me. He's like, yeah, I decided on Penn State. You think that'd be good for Novice? It was almost like he factored it into his decision. But that's just kind of the guy that Ture is, just a workaholic and having a ton of fun, but doing things at a high level, which makes him just the best athlete, that we could ever imagine having, as a representative of our brand and company. And you've done so much for us that you probably don't realize. So we really appreciate everything and all the effort and energy you put into it, because it's paved the way for more athletes to come.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, NIL stuff is new, right? So it's pretty exciting that got to kind of start that and get the ball rolling, and hopefully pave the way for more athletes. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So Ture, I was going to ask you, as I'm sitting across the way here from the two Novice graphic designers, Ben and Zach, what I think is really cool is that so many of the Novice athletes get their own logo. What was that like for you to see the logo and be part of the process, right? Like that's the one thing I've learned here too, is that each athlete kind of gets to be part of that conversation, the design process. I like this, I don't like this. And then when you get to see the initials, man, how cool is that?
Yeah, it was surreal. I was in there with an iPad, kind of helping to, change things around, but it was all the designers. Like they came up with the coolest logo. Like everyone who sees it, it's like that logo is really clean, like works really well. Even for people who like don't care about who I am, like they just think it's cool. So that's been pretty special. It's also kind of like, a little bit of hockey sticks almost.
Hockey. Yeah.
So works out pretty well. But yeah, so talented. Every time I see their designs, I'm impressed. And it's been cool.
We're working hard on trying to tap into Penn State more. So that's in the works. We've been meeting some good people, but
yeah, Dan has that in the works. And I think there's a lot of big opportunity to come in Penn State. But shout out Ben on that logo. I know he was fired up.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's
are you better behind the 3-point line than Jalen Pickett would be trying to take a slap shot from the blue line?
On an open net?
Yeah.
It's a good question. I mean, depends on what curve he's using and everything. I don't know. I feel like he'd be better than me. It's a little bit easier to hit an open net, I feel like, than a 3-pointer.
Yeah, maybe. He just dropped 41 or something like that the other night, right? First Penn State guy to go over 40 in a long time. They're playing well. You guys are playing even better. Last thing from me, Tor, and I'll leave it up to the boys here below me. Do you allow yourself to think beyond Penn State right now, given that there's such a short amount of time left in the season? To share with our viewers, right, who may not know as much about you, what comes next and how much really you're thinking about it now.
Yeah, well, I think these guys know, like last year I wanted to go pro. I thought I was ready, and turned out I needed some more time in college, and it worked out this way. But I think definitely it's always on my mind. It's something that pushes me to work hard every day, because ultimately, like when you're a kid, like playing professional is your dream. So it's definitely pretty surreal that it's pretty close. And I think what it comes down to is like how much of a run we can go on, and how deep we can go here in playoffs. Because, the deeper we go, the more eyes are on me. So, if we keep winning, people are going to wonder why, and they're going to look at our players and be impressed. So, hopefully that's what can happen.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would ask too, just one final thought. If you could give any advice to young athletes out there that are pursuing their dreams, trying to play towards something, or maybe it's not even in sports, like what would you say looking back on your college career? What's a piece of advice that you'd give to the young athletes or just the young kids out there?
Yeah, actually, to kind of go off that, a few of us here got involved with the hockey path, which is pretty cool. Like we do youth hockey instruction through video on Zoom. So we'll watch kids' shifts and break it down for them, and kind of give advice that we've heard from college coaches and pro coaches and stuff.
Wow.
So we started doing that, and it's really cool, like 45-minute video sessions, just going through their games. And it's only Division I players doing it and pro players. So it's pretty cool for those youth players to get it. So been doing some of that, and kind of like the one thing that I see in like the kids that are working hard and stuff is like, I don't know, my dad told me at a young age that, I was kind of doing the same as everyone else. And my dad was like, so like, do you want to play at the next level? Like, how are you going to get there? And I was like, I don't know, like I have to work hard. And he's like, yeah, but you have to work harder than everyone else in the room. Like, you're not going to get to the next level if you're not the hardest worker in the room and like working harder than the guy next to you, because then they're going to beat you. So I think it's about being ready to compete every day, and then kind of doing something extra to put yourself ahead. It not only helps you get better, but it'll also kind of give you that edge to like know that you did something extra, and you're going to have that confidence to make that play when it comes down to it.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Amazing.
Tor, thank you, man, for all the time here. Love to see you keep claiming that crown on the ice with the Penn State Nittany Lions, dude. Continued success. We're watching back here in the 518.
Sounds good. Great to see you guys.
Brother.
Appreciate it.
Keep tearing it up, Tor.
Stay strong.
Thanks again, brother.
Thanks.
All right. See you guys.